The floods of 2024 will go down in the books as a memorable event for the residents of southern Minnesota. Good evening and thanks for joining us for this special edition of KEYC News Now. We're going to take a look back at the floods of June 2024 and the recovery efforts since that time. We start with the memorable images of the devastation at the Rapidan Dam. After several days of heavy rain across the region, water began to go around the dam in the early morning hours of June the 24th as debris built up behind the dam. The power of the water eroded the western bank of the dam, taking the power substation and eventually the home of the Hershka family with it. During that time, the power of the water brought many people to the site to watch the power of nature, but also to watch history unfold. In a preemptive move, Blue Earth County purchased the nearby dam store from the family and removed it to prevent more debris from entering the river. Well, as the flood waters receded, it was determined the supports for the nearby Blue Earth County Road 9 bridge were deemed unsafe, and plans were made to remove that bridge. That process began over the winter and included an implosion in February. Plans are underway to rebuild the bridge, and county officials voted to remove the dam. Due to the number of government agencies involved, that process is expected to take years. Despite the destruction caused by the power of the water, the Rapidan Dam stands strong, sitting beside the new channel that the Blue Earth River has carved around the dam's structure. We start our look back at the floods of 2024 with the meteorology behind what caused them. Plenty of rain. But it wasn't just rain in the month of June. KEYC First Alert meteorologist Daniel Sawicki explains.
It is hard to believe that it has been a year since the historic flooding that impacted the region. Minnesota actually as a state had the fourth wettest June in history. Now we were impacted the most here into southern Minnesota. I'm going to go over everything and how the flooding came together. Now we got to go back to the month of May. We had some very high rain totals, anywhere from 6 to 8 inches here in Mankato. How about Algona, Iowa? Just over 12 inches of rain. Normally through the area, you get about 4 inches for the month of May. So we were about 2 to 3, even upwards of 4 or 5 inches above our average May totals. This allowed for the ground to start getting saturated, the river levels starting to get higher. But take a look as we headed into June. Many of us, we're talking 11, even upwards of 18 inches of rain by the time you head to Faribault. That was a significant amount of rain. But the big thing about those June rainfall totals, take a look from June 15th through June 22nd. That was when we had the most rain for the month of June. That's when about 12 inches of rain fell. Here in Mankato, we're going to take a localized look at this. We had just over 11 inches of rain. Now, this was pretty similar through much of the region. We more than doubled just in that week the average total for the month of June. But particularly, take a look at June 20th through June 22nd. We had about 8 inches of rain through the area. That is a big amount of rain. But now I'm going to look at the atmospheric setup. Basically why we experienced all this rain in May, and especially during that time frame of June 20th through June 22nd. Now this is actually the jet stream that we are seeing today. We had all that hot air moving off to the east. You can see the eastern half of the country. This is known as upper level ridging. To the west, looks like a U into the jet stream. That is an upper level trough. These low pressure systems, they ride that upper level trough to the east. You can see this low pressure system going to make our way into our area. Now this upper level pattern, that was what we've seen a lot in the month of May, specifically in the week of June 15th through June 22nd. That pattern, it just got stuck. So at the surface, we had a warm front start to make its way into the area. As it moved north into June 21st, that stalled out as a stationary front. That put us in a prime location, rounds of showers and storms. June 21st, we've seen about 6 inches of rain here in Mankato. Many of us in southern Minnesota between about 5 to 7 inches of rain. This is not the location you want to be north of a stationary front. Again, that's where you see those training of storms. Now, as we head into tomorrow into Thursday, it's going to be a similar setup. We will have a warm front get closer to our area, stall out as a stationary front. That is going to leave us with rounds of showers and storms as we head into tomorrow, lasting through about Thursday evening. Now, there could be some localized flooding, about 2 to 4 inches of rain expected for much of the area. The difference, though, between the flooding event of last year, where it was more widespread, is that there was about 17 to 18 inches of rain prior to that week of June 15th through the June 22nd. So far this year, we're at about 5 to 7 inches, so widespread flooding does not look likely, but we could see some localized flooding Wednesday through Thursday. From the KEYC Weather Center, I'm First Alert Meteorologist Daniel Sawicki.
Well, as we look back at the floods of 2024, we check in with the Hershka family, who became the unofficial face of the flooding as their well-known business and their home was taken by the rushing waters of the Blue Earth River. Since that time, they've settled into their new home in Mankato. Aaron Stuvey has that story.
A store filled with history, some old and some new.
We don't want people to forget about it. The dam was our life and our home for our whole lives, and we don't want people to forget that. It was a wonderful place. It's going to be a wonderful place again someday.
It's now been over a year since the Herska family's life was swept down the Blue Earth River. The memories of the historic dam store now living on in downtown Mankato. This is their first full season in the new location, but their thoughts are often still back at the dam.
That's still our home. I go out there often to just hear the river, to be there, and it's hard every time I go there, but it's also a sense of feeling like I'm home.
The new store is larger than the old site, and they've brought on more staff to handle the support they've seen from community members over the past year. Still, the family says that the new location doesn't fill their vision for what the dam store is and what it represents.
We want to go back there and be in that location again.
That's why for the two siblings whose whole lives revolve around the store, a new dream will never die.
We don't know what the future holds out there, and we can just hope and pray that one day we'll be able to be back out there.
In Mankato, Aaron Stuvey, KEYC News Now.